We're so far removed from our food source that we don't know what food is unless it's in the store and it has labels on it.
What is this idea about gardening? What is this idea about interacting with the landscape?
There's so much excitement about what is happening in Calgary.
And so for me, I just realized I didn't want to go back to the farm. I didn't want to move back to the country. But something that I knew would really enrich my life was getting back involved with beekeeping or getting involved with nature or engaging in that way.
South Central Los Angeles, home of the drive-through and the drive-by. Strange thing is, the drive-through is killing more people than the drive-by. Just like 26.5 million other Americans, I live in a food desert, and I noticed you guys have a couple of them here while I was driving around.
And now my approach is that each and every one of us, whether it's through supporting a local food producer or having a small herb garden or growing a lemon tree or orange tree in your house, we have an opportunity to create a meaningful relationship with the landscape, and this is something that our culture hasn't taught us.
Driving out, we were like, what is that growing in that field? And it was artichokes that are growing, right here in Alberta. It's amazing the products that actually do grow and thrive here in Alberta. So it was very, very eye-opening.
Alberta is the leading honey producer in Canada, and Canada's in the top 25. Alberta, we actually produce more honey per hive than most regions in North America are even capable of producing.
Because what I found is, if kids grow kale, kids eat kale. If they grow tomatoes, they eat tomatoes. But when none of this is presented to them, when they're not shown how food affects the mind and the body, they blindly eat whatever the hell you put in front of them.
But I think it's something that can profoundly increase our health, our enjoyment of life. It can be a beautiful hobby for those of you who've been out there and tried it, And like I said, even if it's just stopping at the restaurant and really caring about where that food came from or seeing the name of the farm on that menu.
We have to make gardening sexy. We have to become ecolutionaries, gangsters. Garden gangsters is what we have to do. We have to flip the script on what a gangster is. If you ain't planting tomatoes, you ain't gangster. If you're not growing food, you're not gangster. If you're not changing your community, you're not gangster.
Farming's cool. There's Dave making farming cool. And I think it is cool because we now, being able to run a business that's self-sustaining in the city based on all borrowed land and relationships, strong relationships in the community, where when we walk around in Inglewood and Ramsey now, it's a whole different landscape.
I mean, this city is amazing and people are so eager to come together. And I think it's because it is full of small town people who are really looking for that connection and really looking to re-engage with nature and re-engage with each other.
There's so much excitement about what is happening in Calgary. There's something going on there, and we're talking about chefs from Toronto, chefs from San Francisco, chefs from what's happening down here, because I hear you guys do a lot of stuff together, right? I think that's something that's very unique to us, and we should embrace it.
As soon as you get into a hive, open it, smell it, and see altruism working, really working in a way that makes a society of organisms work together in fluid production without really actually causing any sort of negative impacts on the environment, but actually working in benefit of the environment, I think really inspires people of their own potential.
And that there's a potential for that for many more people and for every community in this city. We just have so much lawn that needs to be destroyed, frankly, and turned into food production. Yes. Sweet. And more stuff like this is coming down the road, and more things like this are coming to Calgary. So I would say support the growing of perennial food producers, because it's arguably one of the most sustainable ways that we can produce our food going into the future.
I'm just trying to reconnect with nature. I'm really trying to get to know that guy who really likes bees too and has an air compressor I can borrow when I need it. People don't really feel valued or validated in a community setting unless they're able to participate. In a honeybee colony, it's that bee that goes out and finds that new sweet nectar source and comes back and gets to do the bee dance and share what it's found out with everyone else.
When one pack of seeds, $1, one pack of seeds will give you like $75 worth of food, worth of produce from beans. I tell you, this is my gospel. I'm telling people, grow your own food. Because growing your own food is like printing your own money. See, I'm an artist. I grow my art. Just like, and I'm a quilter, I heard you, E. Just like a graffiti artist, but they beautify walls. Me, I beautify parkways and gardens. I treat the soil as my canvas, and the fruits and the vegetables and the flowers that I plant. That's my embroidery. That's my embellishment for that canvas.
Gardening would become my new form of artwork. And I would take that, I would start planting trees rather than painting them.
We wanted everyone to see what talent we had and what was actually going on in Calgary with the food scene, and it's starting to develop and it was about to explode. We wanted people to be a part of it.
You should watch the local food movement in Calgary because it's going to be very exciting over the next couple of years.
So we're continuing to bring in big name chefs to showcase how cool Calgary is and our local movement, and people are talking about it.
There are so many ways for you to get involved in your local food scene. Whether it's going to the farmer's market, whether it's hiring a consultant to come to your backyard and help you get started, whether it's attending a community garden, volunteering in a community garden. There are just so many things, and I think that it's worth giving a shot. So thank you so much for your time.